I have this again. It's not a theory. It's more of a fact. I won't say a fact, but it's not my theory. It's something that was popularized maybe in 1950s. Alfred Hitchcock has this concept of using the elements in scene. If you were creating a scene in within maybe a house, a room, what are the elements that you have at your disposal, and write your story elements based on all those factors in the room. Like a movie like Rare Window. रेयर विंडो में द गाय जर्नलिस्ट का पैर टूटा हुआ है, वो पीछे अपने घर में बैठा हुआ है, उसके पास क्या है, और मे बी स्पॉयलर्स, बट इन द एंड to defend
as if you were going to watch that.
In the end, to defend himself, he's a reporter. He not just a reporter. He has a camera and he shoots things. तो उसको स्टन करने के लिए अपने कैमरा में फ्लैश लाइट लगाता है. At that time, there used to be flashlight, and that he has nothing. He can't walk. वो फ्लैश लाइट लगा के just he's stunning the intruder. Right. So basically, you use the elements in the scene, elements that you are available to them. Don't go outside the box. I always believe to create good story elements, you have to think inside the box.
I'll go a little off topic, which is not off topic, but a little different, related to the topic. Maybe we'll make it 2 episodes, part 1 and part 2. The concept of Hitchcock, of taking the elements in the room and then moving forward and making them props in the story, or making them passive characters in the storytelling. Do you know who, in my opinion, there are 2 people that comes to mind. I know they are favorites too for you, or top 2 filmmakers or top 2 creators, are the 2 people who I think who do this most are Vijay Anand and Aaron Sorkin. And just to give you a minor example of why I say Vijay Anand, the elder brother of Devanand. So there were 3 brothers, Chetan Anand, Devanand and Vijay Anand. I don't know the hierarchy of that.
Devanand looks so young. I'm not sure if he was the middle child or the...
वो तो सलमान खान भी है ना यार, अरबाज ओसवाल का भाई कहाँ लगता है? Sorry सलमान खान. I'm not sorry अरबाज ओसवाल.
हाँ, actually सलमान खान की तारीफ
हो रही है. So so Vijay Anand, and why I say you would know, but let me give you a very light-hearted example of why I say what I say. So Vijay Anand used to direct Devanand the most. 90% of his filmography is obviously Navniketan films, which is Devanand and Chetan Anand. But then he scored big with 2 big blockbusters. One was Teesri Manzil for Nasir Hussain with Shami Kapoor and Asha Parekh, and then it was Blackmail with Dharmendra. So in Teesri Manzil, now coming to why I say what I say, using your surroundings or your still things as your passive characters in the storytelling, and using them with the rhythm. In the movie Teesri Manzil, there is a song, Dekhiye Sahibo. I think it's the most underrated song of the...
Strike लग जाएगा ज़्यादा मतलब.
हाँ. The most underrated. I mean, that movie has great song as Oh Hasina Zulfo Wali and many great. But ये मेरे हिसाब से film in terms of cinematic, the choreography and everything, the most underrated song. And एक Ferris wheel है उसमें. So एक अंतरा है, ला 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 करते और वो one shot है पूरा. It's a one shot and Shami Kapoor comes and he sits on that with Asha Parekh और उतर जाए, कुछ होता है और कैमरा नीचे ही है and वो गया है ऊपर फेरिस व्हील और वो जो फेरिस व्हील नीचे आए और वो टाइमिंग, सी वन शॉट तो बहुत से लोग लेते हैं, बट व्हाट अबाउट द टाइमिंग, वो अंतड़े का टाइमिंग इतना सूट था कि अंतड़े से जब मुखड़ा कनेक्ट हो रहा है, सो वो फेरिस व्हील पूरा अंतड़ा गा के एग्जैक्टली जब फेरिस व्हील रुका उसके चेयर का सीट खोला, फिर वो देखिए एंड ही कम्स अगेन इट्स अ वन शॉट थिंग, ही यूज्ड फेरिस व्हील. In Blackmail, when he's actually writing the letters, wrote the letters and Raki's reading the letters, and as we all know, the biggest hit, one of the biggest hit of Kishore Kumar, Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas. The whole song, if you see, he is using so many of these external things as characters. Raki वो bed पे लेटी है, lamp on हुआ है, lamp on हुआ है, Dharmendra is there already. It's a freaky thing, but Dharmendra is again, but that's direction. That's superb direction. That it's not a cut shot. It's not a shot where it's different altogether negative. वो उधर ही है, बस उन लोग ने अंधेरे से कैरेक्टर को छुपा के रखे धर्मेंद्र के, और जैसे वो लैंप ऑन हुआ बीसी धर्मेंद्र, और ये ऑब्वियसली उसका इमेजिनेशन है. एक्चुअली टू बी ऑनेस्ट, कौन किसको इमेजिन कर रहा है, यू वोंट नो. राखी तो
it's like Christopher Nolan's multi-layered things, because वो it's too. We'll have to get back to that essentially because then जब ये बात हुई तो फिर वो तेरे घर के सामने की वो ग्लास के अंदर नूतन वाली में बात हो सकती है.
Then I want you to talk about it. That is why I said we'll make it
We'll have
2
to talk about
episodes
these
because
elements.
it's a very good point you made about Hitchcock. And then from Hitchcock the tree grew and मुझे Vijay Anand and Aaron Sorkin
Aaron
का.
Sorkin, if you.
But let's talk about the glass.
Yeah.
Again, very good point because तेरे घर के सामने is there एक घर बनाऊंगा तेरे घर के सामने वही सॉन्ग है ना.
हाँ.
And नूतन उसमें नहीं है because he is in a bar or a pub and he is drinking. उसके पास ग्लास है and then वो आइस डाल देता है ग्लास में. पहले तो इमेजिन कर रहा है नूतन को in the glass and वो आइस डाल दे. Such sweet romantic humor कि वो ऐसे से कर रही है, she's shivering और उसको गुस्सा करता और आइस निकाल देता है. They use the glass in that particular scene. Now, but it's a very good point. It's a very subtle and sweet point. But then if you take about major point, they used Qutub Minar also in the song Dil Ka Bhavar Kare Pukar. And they used Qutub Minar as in they used the idea that this is Qutub Minar. By the way, for people who don't know, हमें तो आज तक के मुझे भी आज तक के सबको लगता था कि the song was shot in Qutub Minar.
It wasn't.
Perceivable. No, it was not shot in Qutub Minar. How can it be? Because have you been to Qutub Minar? No one has. अंदर उस वक्त कुतुब मीनार की जो गलियां हैं, सॉरी जो सीढ़ियां हैं ऊपर जाने की बहुत पतली है, नैरो. उस जमाने में कैमरा ऐसे होते थे.
हाँ.
वो GoPro तो नहीं थे या अपने DSLR तो नहीं था. कैसे वो ऐसा विजय आनंद लेके चलता कैमरा? So the idea was obviously Qutub Minar, but the song was shot. It's so set. It's a set. It's a beautiful set. But वो set पे उन लोग ने shoot किया. But my point is, in perception, it's Qutub Minar. So they use these characters, right? So if you think of any other example of Vijay Anand, so that is how people. And Aaron Sorkin, you were saying something about Aaron Sorkin.
I mean, the famous thing, but obviously Aaron Sorkin is famous for using surroundings. And again, we'll talk about this a lot in the future. However, like a show like West Wing, Newsroom, or even a Social Network, especially West Wing, because West Wing, the title is West Wing, and the entire show is about the West Wing. The ancillary characters are the President, the Secretary of State, and all those people. But the person, the writer, has to
public relations,
they have to show the surroundings because the story is about the surroundings. How this person starts working from here, goes to PR, goes to the strategist, goes to the communication officer, and then ends up at the president's desk.
Yeah.
The entire storyline, that's the arc that's going on. It's required for the story.
Exactly.
And Social Network, the best thing is because most of the movie happens in the single room where they're having the arbitration.
The arbitration, yeah.
And the guy, the Zuckerberg guy, is sitting and looking outside the window, and because still it's in the room, and they're talking to him, and they're saying, "Do we have your attention?" It's like, yeah, you have my minimal amount of attention, because you know if the guy is thinking about launching Facebook in some other different nation
Region
and
or
everything,
together, yeah.
you don't have to show that. It's just an element of the room because the tension is created there. The reason why even Hitchcock thing, why it works, why it's not a trick, it's not a tactic that you use to maybe glorify something. It's not that. It's just about respecting your audience.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing about a mystery or something. You have given the audience ये सारे elements हैं, उनको वो करने के लिए, उनको अपना दिमाग लगाने के लिए, उनको feel करने के लिए, you cannot just go randomly, oh, you know what, time travel. हमने ऐसा, no, you use those things because you're respecting the audience. That is the entire point of this. वरना धोखा है, that's just a cheat in writing. That's very easy to have out. Okay, हाँ भाई हमने ये कर दिया, and then that's the reason this has solved. No.
So many things to talk about when we started. I think we have to do completely another episode on the working style of people like Vijay Anand and the filmography and the cinematic experience of Aaron Sorkin. What say, guys? We'll do another episode on this one.
Come here.
Yeah. All right then. See you then. Bye bye.